Today we're going to talk about a song called White Privilege from a rapper named Burden. Burden is a white rapper using rap music to denounce the existence of white privilege. Seriously, it's not a joke. He's a real person. The medium he chose to express his belief that white privilege is not real is the black art form of rap music. I can't get over the irony in this. He even has another song saying police brutality isn't real. He's like the anti-Macklemore of rap music. For those of you who get upset when I stop the videos to talk about them, I want you to know this time I'm only gonna stop the video when I hear something stupid said. Now with that, let's get going for today's Roast This Post.
Thank you, Diane. And in today's news, let's talk about this white privilege.
I'm about to stir up the pot. I'm gonna talk about what they don't want me to say. This division of races is spit in the face of America. Look at how far it came. Oh, what a shame. How does the media fill us with hate? How do you feel like it's racist for someone to say that they're keeping America great?
Sorry to interrupt you there, fellow white. Nobody says that it's racist to keep America great. And I assume that you're not talking about number 45. He said, make America great, meaning it's not great right now, again, implying it was great previously. American history has only treated black people worse the further that you go back. So to imply that America used to be great previously is what people had a problem with. But you knew that. That's why you changed the slogan to fit your own racist narrative. And what's with this tennis? Do you think that tennis does not have white privilege? Do you have any idea how much racism that Serena and Venus Williams went through because they had the audacity to be two of the greatest tennis athletes, male or female, to ever live?
Let's talk about this white privilege. I'll make it clear so that y'all get this. I ain't never had an opportunity in life that was given base with the tone of my skin is.
Sorry to bother you again. White privilege isn't this coupon that you can take to a grocery store. Pretty often it's more things that don't happen to you because of the color of your skin. This just shows that you don't know what white privilege is. You're using a definition of white privilege that's made up. Let's look at this very simple quote of white privilege that sheds a little bit more light on it for you. White privilege doesn't mean your life hasn't been hard. It means that your skin color isn't one of those things making it harder.
You ain't impressed? Look at what year it is. There ain't no talking to you. You ain't hearing this.
Whoa, okay. You don't believe in oppression now because of the year? What are you talking about? Did racists just give up? In 1964, all of the racists that voted against the Civil Rights Act, do you think that in 1965 they just changed their mind? They still lived on. They still raised other children. David Duke is still alive. There are still living members of a group whose sole purpose was to eradicate an entire race of people. So Antifa's real, but oppression isn't. Okay.
Fist in the air, black pride, that's great. But if I do the same for my race, that's hate.
White pride doesn't exist because white culture doesn't exist. More specifically, pride is based on ethnicity or region. That's why you can have German, Irish, Scottish, Asian pride, but you can't have white pride because there is no colored form of pride. The one and only exception is black pride because black people have the unique experience of being robbed of their culture. Also, think of where these terms originated. White pride was coined by white supremacists preaching hatred and superiority, while black pride was from the civil rights movement where they were just preaching for equality. How can you participate so heavily in black culture and understand so little of it?
He can do what he wants, is what a lot of you say, but if I play with the police, I'ma have a bad day.
Oh, so you think that just across the board, as long as you don't play with the police, you won't have a bad day? Was this black man playing with the police when he had his hands behind his head, obeying the police's orders, and they still tased him and kicked him in his back, Liu Kang, Mortal Kombat style? Oh no, you mean don't play with the police like this white man who resisted arrest even after being tased. He still chased after the officer, stole his cop car, drove away, and never got shot.
He's gonna shoot him. He gonna shoot.
Or this white man and his white wife who cursed and yelled at the top of their lungs at a police officer.
You stupid fucking bitch! There's my fucking license, you piece of shit! You wanna pull a gun on me in front of my fucking kid? I'll fucking kill your fucking ass!
The police have way more patience with white people playing with them.
So you must be high, then already told you I don't wanna die. Who said it was better? They told you a lie. You think that my colors gon' help you survive?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, you're 3 times more likely to not be shot and killed by the police just by being white.
Plus we the same, let me explain. Work the same jobs and we get the same pay. Wanna pass school, had to get the same grades. If you make the same choices, you get the same place.
Same job, same pay? Not true. Studies have shown that black men and women earn less than white men and women on the dollar, just in general throughout life, but also even when you compare the same jobs and education. Also, just because everybody is being judged by the same tests doesn't mean that everybody had the same opportunities to get good grades on those tests. There's a reason that schools in white communities are more well-funded than schools in black communities. You see, while you don't believe that white privilege exists now, you have to admit that it did at some point in time, right? Because of racist housing laws and black people being able to legally be refused loans because of nothing other than the color of their skin, they were forced to move to impoverished communities. Now, schools are funded from the wealth generated from taxes of that community. So more wealthier communities can give more money towards the schools than the poorer communities. The U.S. Court of Appeals ruled that Michigan was so negligent towards the educational needs of Detroit students that children had been deprived of access to literacy, which was in violation of the 14th Amendment. The ruling was in response to a class action lawsuit that was filed by a group of Detroit public school students, citing a bunch of severe deficiencies. Rodent-infested schools, unqualified and absentee teachers, physics classes given only biology textbooks, advanced high school reading groups reading at a 4th grade reading level. One 8th grader taught a 7th grade math class because the school was so understaffed. This stuff doesn't happen in white communities, period. So no, it's not the same. If you make the same choices, you go the same places. That's not true either. There's plenty of examples and studies showing biases in legal punishment. Feel free to pause the video to read the information I'm about to show you. A study from the United States Sentencing Commission found that black male offenders received almost 20% longer sentences than white male offenders, despite committing the same crime with similar backgrounds. And I do mean similar backgrounds, as several of the factors they considered included age, education, citizenship, weapon possession, and prior criminal history. Here's a chart showing just how much longer black prison sentences have been percentage-wise in different time periods. A 2014 Michigan Law School study found that even when all factors were equal, black male offenders were 75% more likely to face a charge carrying a mandatory minimum sentence than white offenders who committed the same crime. Kyle Rittenhouse killed 2 people and was offered bail that was paid by white supremacists, a bail of $2 million, towards a trial that is moving very, very quickly. Now, percentage-wise, black people would be less likely to be able to cover that $2 million of bail if they're offered bail at all. Khalif Browder was arrested for stealing a book bag. He was held for 3 years because he was unable to pay the bail. 2 years in solitary confinement. That solitary confinement messed him up badly enough to send him into suicidal depression, which was ultimately what got the best of him. White murderers are treated better by our legal system than black people accused of stealing a book bag. So no, not the same. This is like racial ignorance greatest hits at this point. He's about to say that he can't be racist because he has a black friend. He's said almost all of them so far.
I went to jail and I didn't get bail. I wanted the rent, I'm a felon, I can't. Where is all the inequality at? I applied for jobs, they ain't calling me yet.
Good question. Where is all of the inequality at? Well, you just pointed out that because you're a felon, you have some opportunities that you did not receive leaving jail. With that being said, let's talk about the likelihood of somebody going to jail. Studies have shown that black people are 7 times more likely to be falsely convicted of murder, 3.5 times more likely to be falsely convicted of sexual assault, and 12 times more likely to be falsely convicted of drug crimes, despite equal drug use across all races. I mean, white people are more likely to use the harsher drugs, but for some reason they get less jail time for that, but that's another video. Also, keep in mind that these studies are just going off of what was able to be proven in the court of law, meaning who is able to even fight this to begin with. The real numbers of racial inequality in the legal system are only worse. Also, let's talk about your legal history, Burden. In your very own bio, you mentioned that you were arrested for manslaughter. You mentioned that you had a friend whose mother just happened to have an extra $30,000 that they used to help you pay for a defense attorney. That defense attorney got a 15-year sentence dropped to 2 years, no probation. Okay, fellow white man, hear me out. Is there a chance that there was some white privilege knowing somebody with an extra $30,000 to help you beat a manslaughter charge. Just hear me out. Based on the systemic racism leading to a large gap in differences in generational wealth between white and black communities, we know that white people are more likely to know a person who can lend them $30,000. On top of the fact that you got a 15-year manslaughter charge dropped to 2 years no probation, and you're gonna tell me that you don't believe in white privilege? There's black men that have been in jail longer for selling weed.
So where is all the inequality at?
There, that's where the inequality at.
White privilege. Let's talk about this white privilege. Let's talk about this white privilege. Don't exist, God is my witness. Don't exist, God is my witness.
I'm not your witness. I'm not your witness, okay? Don't say that. I gave y'all free will. White people, y'all act a fool, and racism is real. I know because I made it. You got to humble people. I gave black people all the talent. Big dicks, fat asses, rhythm. I had to do something to humble them. So I made white people act a fool. But damn, I ain't know y'all was gonna act a fool like that. Let me tell you something, young man. Just because you don't see white privilege, don't mean I didn't make it. But y'all ain't got to act a fool like that. Y'all calm down. I told y'all I started a flood. I told you. Back hurt and everything. Don't make me angry. Me, damn. Back hurt. Oh God, back hurt.
Thank you for watching, and check out my Patreon page where you can find exclusive content updated regularly. And find me at Jeff Horste on YouTube and all social media.
I gave black people all the talent. Big dicks, fat asses, rhythm. I had to do something to humble them. So I made white people act a fool. But damn, I ain't know y'all was gonna act a fool like that.